So, in true Donald Trump fashion on Wednesday, the Orange Hossa claimed that Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has agreed to stop immigrants from reaching the U.S. southern border through Mexico, implying that he had scored a major diplomatic and political win. But the sensible people already knew that was not the case, and that Trump was twisting things to fit his narrative, as evidenced by the response that the Mexican president posted shortly after he made that statement. So here is what really happened. Donald Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum had a phone conversation on November 27, 2024, after Trump threatened to impose tariffs on Mexico just 2 days prior on Monday, November 25, 2024, over migration issues. Trump described the conversation as wonderful and very productive on his Truth Social platform, claiming that the two leaders discussed border control and combating illegal drug flows. However, Sheinbaum provided a different account of the conversation. She stated that she had an excellent conversation with Trump, where she explained Mexico's strategy on migration, including assisting migrants before they reach the U.S. border. Sheinbaum emphasized that Mexico's position is not to close borders, but to build bridges between governments and between peoples. Contradicting Sheinbaum's statement, Trump claimed that the Mexican president agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. He also said Mexico would stop people from going to our southern border, effective immediately. Sheinbaum directly refuted Trump's characterization of the conversation, reiterating that Mexico's approach is to address migration while respecting human rights, not to close the border. So, while Trump and Sheinbaum discussed border-related issues, they appear to have differing views on the appropriate approach, with Trump making claims about Mexico closing the border that were not supported by the Mexican president's own account of the conversation, just like when he said during his first time in office that Mexico was going to pay for building the wall. You saw how that turned out. Trump made the threats on Monday, and on Tuesday the Mexican president sent a letter to Trump, outlining Mexico's stance on migration, drug trafficking, and tariffs. She gave a detailed description of what was already being done in cooperation with the existing Biden administration in regards to migration. She went on to say that drug abuse was an American problem and that if tariffs were imposed on Mexico, that they would match the same in kind on the U.S. Here is what the letter said.
Dear President-elect Donald Trump, I am writing to you regarding your statement on Monday, November 25th, concerning migration, fentanyl trafficking, and tariffs. You may not be aware that Mexico has developed a comprehensive policy to assist migrants from different parts of the world who cross our territory en route to the southern border of the United States. As a result, and according to data from your country's Customs and Border Protection (CBP), encounters at the Mexico-United States border have decreased by 75% between December 2023 and November 2024. Moreover, half of those who arrive do so through a legally scheduled appointment under the United States CBP-1 program. For these reasons, migrant caravans no longer arrive at the border. Even so, it is clear that we must work together to create a new labor mobility model that is necessary for your country, as well as address the root causes that compel families to leave their homes out of necessity. If even a small percentage of what the United States allocates to war were instead dedicated to building peace and fostering development, it would address the underlying causes of human mobility. On another note, and for humanitarian reasons, Mexico has consistently expressed its willingness to help prevent the fentanyl epidemic in the United States from continuing. This is, after all, a public health and consumption problem within your society. So far this year, Mexican armed forces and prosecutors have seized tons of various types of drugs, 10,340 firearms, and have detained 15,640 individuals for violence related to drug trafficking. Furthermore, the Mexican Congress is in the process of approving a constitutional reform to classify the production, distribution, and commercialization of fentanyl and other synthetic drugs as a serious crime without bail. However, it is publicly known that the chemical precursors used to produce this and other synthetic drugs are illegally entering Canada, the United States, and Mexico from Asian countries. This underscores the urgent need for international collaboration. You must also be aware of the illegal trafficking of firearms into my country from the United States. 70% of the illegal weapons seized from criminals in Mexico come from your country. We do not produce these weapons, nor do we consume synthetic drugs. Tragically, it is in our country that lives are lost to the violence resulting from meeting the drug demand in yours. President Trump, migration and drug consumption in the United States cannot be addressed through threats or tariffs. What is needed is cooperation and mutual understanding to tackle these significant challenges. For every tariff, there will be a response in kind, until we put at risk our shared enterprises. Yes, shared. For instance, among Mexico's main exporters to the United States are General Motors, Stellantis, and Ford Motor Company, which arrived in Mexico 80 years ago. Why impose a tariff that would jeopardize them? Such a measure would be unacceptable and would lead to inflation and job losses in both the United States and Mexico. I am convinced that North America's economic strength lies in maintaining our trade partnership. This allows us to remain competitive against other economic blocs. For this reason, I believe that dialogue is the best path to understanding, peace, and prosperity for our nations. I hope our teams can meet soon to continue building joint solutions.
So, there it is in a nutshell. You can continue to believe Trump and all his lies, or you can see him for who he really is. Needless to say, some of you made the choice to put this person in the most powerful position in the world, and he has already started down the path of deception to fool you into thinking that he is getting things done when he is not. Blatantly and shamelessly lying about what the Mexican president said.
Well, here's a little something I want y'all to do for me. Don't believe the hype.
Remember, stay informed, stay active, and stay woke. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.